video is presented to you by Canadian Gundam. $10 flat rate shipping from coast to Canadian coast. Now also shipping to the United States.
Hey guys, it's 101R Smith, also known as Reggie Smith, bringing you another review on the Gunpla network, this time of the high-grade Daburuō diver. The box art for the Daburuō diver is pretty straightforward. However, I will admit that I'm happy of a sort of change of look. The style of the build series boxes were starting to get a little bit boring for me, and it seems like they're trying to reinvent them a little bit. It has like this Daburuō / sword art online style to the box, and it might be simple for a high grade, but I appreciate the changing of the pace to try to separate the build fighters from build diver series. So just in general, it's just a really nice box. The building process of the Daburuō diver is very straightforward and should last you no more than 2 to 3 hours tops. This kit heavily recycles the HG Daburuō Gundam from 2008, and I would say the ratio of old to new parts is 70% old, 30% new. Majority of the new parts is going towards the head, the backpack for the GN drives, and the front skirt armor. It should be very straightforward, and I'm very happy to see that even though this kit is going on 10 years now, it's still one of the top tier for both build process and articulation. I will give the build process of the Daburuō diver an 8 out of 10. The overall look of the Daburuō diver is pretty straightforward. I would say that the proportions are accurate to the Gunpla that is shown in the anime, and everything for the most part looks as it should. However, there is some required painting on this kit. The gray on the feet and on the face are usually used with stickers, but me personally, those stickers really suck and look terrible. So I decided to paint it, which I feel is very necessary if you want a perfect, accurate look of the HD Daburuō diver. One other misconception is that unfortunately, the clear jewel on the head of the Daburuō diver is green. Unlike the HG Daburuō Gundam, the clear pieces actually have a color. However, the jewel is supposed to always be red. You get a sticker to put it on top, but again, it looks terrible. And unfortunately, you could paint it, but it's very hard to turn a clear green into a clear red. So you're kind of stuck either having to find a old HG Daburuō Gundam, repaint the jewel from clear to clear red, and put it on top, or you're just gonna have to deal with the sticker. I will give the overall look of the Daburuō diver a 6.5 out of 10. The articulation is probably what I would say is the strongest point of the Daburuō diver. Despite it using a 10-year-old kit as a standing point and a template, it still works pretty well. I would say that the base Daburuō Gundam was ahead of its time in terms of articulation, that only now, with the build Breeding Gundam, have we finally start to see more modern HGs catch up to it. So having it as a template wasn't a bad choice. You can get some pretty awesome bending, stretching poses, and squatting as well. However, I would say, unfortunately, due to the ankles, you can't get something extreme like push-ups or sit-ups. Well, you probably could do sit-ups if you finagle it pretty well. Arm articulation is also very well because it adopts the Daburuō jointed bend where you get a single jointed elbow, but then the wrist moves to compensate to make it look like a double jointed elbow. Otherwise, the articulation is really good, and you should be able to get any basic and some moderate advanced posing. I will give the articulation of the Daburuō diver a 7.5 out of 10. The accessories for this kit is probably the part where, for a lot of people, it's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. You're going to get the 2 GN Saber 2s, and that's it. That is the only weaponry that comes with the Daburuō diver out of box. You do retain the 2 beam saber hilts that come from the Daburuō Gundam, but for some reason Bandai did not give you any beam saber effect parts. Now, if you've been building Gunpla for a while and you've collected 1/144 scale, high grade or real grade, you probably have a couple of beam saber hilts and beam saber effect parts just laying around, so that problem is fixed. However, This is meant to be an entry point for a lot of new Gunpla enthusiasts who are just getting into it due to the Build Divers anime. And not a good start for accessories for a beginner. Now, it does come with extra pairs of hands for dynamic posing, but again, that's it. In terms of weaponry, this kit is designed for you to buy more kits. Bandai purposely made this kit for you to buy the accessory packs and other equipment that will come with the Daburuō Diver as the anime goes on. Specifically, the Daburuō Diver Ace that should be coming out in June, including a lot more weaponry and more accurate, clear color pieces for the Gundam Daburuō Diver. So unfortunately, this is the very weakest part of the kit, and I will be giving the accessories a 4.5 out of 10. But that's only for what you get outside of the box. The fun factor comes with the fact that you have the Gundam Daburuō Diver. And this is definitely a kit that is built for beginners and also for people who are into heavy customization. I feel that Bandai, with the lack of accessories, thought of this as, let's just give this out and let people do whatever they want, whether it's getting option parts for UC weapons or Daburuō Diver, build fighters, regular build fighters try. This thing was designed for customization, and unfortunately, just for itself outside of the box, again, you're very limited. This was meant to be a baseline for people to get other kits and customize and work with it, but on its own, yeah, it's a lot of fun to have the Daburuō Diver because this is the only version available at this time. You do get great posing, but again, you only get 2 weapons. You can't really have a lot of fun with 2 weapons. But if you're willing to work with it with other kits, I guess you could have a lot of fun. I will give the fun factor of the Daburuō Diver a 5 out of 10. You know, my final thoughts on the Daburuō Diver is that, again, if this was your very first kit, I still feel like you would get what you need to feel like building a Gunpla for the very first time. But if you're just getting brand new into it, I feel this is the choice for you. Now, don't get me wrong, the Daburuō Diver looks great. It has better color separation than even the original Daburuō Gundam. And the posing, while being a decade old, still holds up very well. The lack of weapons is what hurts it the most, and just the lack of options that you're going to have out of the box. Bandai is really encouraging you to go pick up other HG kits from either build divers, build fighters, or just UC in general. So by itself, I do feel that it is a weak release, especially since we have the Daburuō Diver base that is coming out in June, which I feel will be the superior version of the Daburuō Diver. So I do feel that there's no urgency in getting this kit other than if you really want to have what's out in the anime right now and you do like the Daburuō Diver design. I just feel that there should be no rush for it. However, if you're a customizer or a scratch builder, this will open up the floodgates to customization for you. There are so many options you can have in it. There's so many different things that you could possibly do if you have the skill and patience to customize it and bring out with other kits, get different accessories from UC, build fighters, build divers. The sky's the limit when it comes to creative ideas for this kit, but on its own, I do feel like it's a weak release, but it's just not bad. It's not great, it's not bad, it's very ho-ho. But still, on its own, it's a good kit, but I would wait for the build diver days. So that is my review of the HG Daburuō Diver. I hope you enjoyed it. This is 101R Smith, and I will see you later.